Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is Abe from GDC here with Anas. In this video we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm excited that we're going to be starting a form check series. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click that little notification bell in the bottom to get updates on our videos when they do come out. And hey, if you send us a video, we can pretty much guarantee that you're going to be in one of the GDC videos too. So to get started, first video is from our boy Nate the Grizzate on Instagram.
Okay, he sent us squat, bench, and deadlifts. So Nate, your squat looks really good. The only thing you can do different is break at the hips and the knees at the same time. And since you're squatting in flats, don't be scared to lean a little bit more over. You don't have to be as upright as you're trying to be. Just lean a little bit more over and hinge at the hips and break at the knees at the same time.
Yeah, make it one fluid movement so that you're not thinking about your hips and your knees as a separate part.
Yeah, that way you're not shifting back, like forward and back as you descend in the hole. That way you just drop straight down and you go up straight up as well.
Yeah, a lot of this is just keeping it in mind when you're warming up, but otherwise, great squat. Moving on to your bench.
His bench actually looks really solid. There's
really
nothing, nothing really to change except, I mean, we can nitpick and say that you, as you unrack, once you unrack, you move your feet a little bit. You might be losing a little bit of tightness. So what you can do is set your feet where they're going to end up. Just set them there. Keep pushing with your quads. And once you unrack, you keep your feet where they are. That way you're always pushing with your quads the whole time. So instead of just unracking, then adjusting your feet, then pushing with your quads, keep pushing with your quads the whole time. That way you'll have a tighter setup, and you don't have to lose a little bit of tightness as you unrack. But other than that, everything looks solid.
Looks really good. Moving on to your deadlift.
Well, the deadlift is the only lift that you can actually make some changes. He sent us a front angle and side angle. From the front, you can see him. It seems like he locks out his knees really too early. But as we took a look at the side angle, you can see him that he's not setting his shoulders back. He's not depressing his shoulders back and down. So what you can do is just work on your starting position and be a little bit more patient. You're also deadlifting on a deadlift bar, so there's more slack to pull. So what you can do is work on some pause deadlifts to work on your patience off the floor. Yeah, extend your back and pull your shoulders down your back. What you can think about is putting your shoulders in your back pocket. You don't want to retract them. You're not benching. You just depress them. You just depress your shoulders.
Depress down.
Depress down.
Not that. Yeah.
Depress, don't retract.
Say it again.
Depress, don't retract.
One more time.
Depress, don't retract.
Okay. Otherwise, thanks so much, Nate, for sending us your videos. Keep them coming if you have any updates you want to send us, and we'll be happy to critique them in the future as well. So moving on to our next boy, Carlos Lanes, 74 kg. What did Carlos send us?
He actually competed with us at the UNT meet.
Thanks, Carlos.
He sent us a sumo deadlift.
Yeah. Right off the bat, Carlos, I know it's not your fault because you got to train where you got to train, but plates with corners is always a no-no because that's going to mess up your positioning when you put the bar on the ground almost 90% of the time. It's going to move this way, it's going to move that way. I mean, that's not your fault, but that's just what we see here is that you have to kind of shift yourself into position after each rep in order to make sure that you're aligned with the bar. What I really like about your pull is that you can see in your upper back that you're putting a lot of effort into your spine, making sure that it's in a good position, making sure that you're kind of getting a little bit of a flex and pulling the slack out of the bar. I really like that.
Yeah, he maintains back extension the whole time, which is really good.
Yeah. On your lockout, it looks like you're using more back than you are using glutes. That in competition, that could be called for soft knees if you're not squeezing your glutes or your quads enough, and that's a good way of remedying that. Just at the very top of your sumo, making sure that you're squeezing your quads and squeezing your glutes as tight as you can, just to force that lockout and to make sure in competition that you're not going to be called for any sort of soft knees or anything like that. Think about trying to use your leverages as much to your advantage as you possibly can. That cue of long arms is going to shorten your range of motion and is also going to help you reduce the slack that's in the bar and help you get into a tighter position, so that when you do extend your back, the bar is almost going to want to break the floor immediately.
And you start with your hips a little bit too high, so just set up with your hips a little bit lower, and that will help you use your quads off the floor as well. And at the top, your lockout is pretty clean. What we can do is just extend with the hips instead of extending with the back at the top. Just think about shooting your hips towards the bar instead of pulling your back. Pulling your back back.
Pulling your back back, for lack of a word.
Yeah.
Now, but otherwise, other than that, it's a really solid lift, man. Hope we compete again in the future. And if you want to just send us some more videos, feel free to do so. We'll be happy to catch up with you on the improvements. All right. So next is Josh. Okay, Joshy boy. All right. Next is Josh Cortez, UNT powerlifting team, elite strength, brand new got a hoodie. No, brand new got a beanie. Fuck, dude. Where's Josh? Josh Cortez, where you at, boy? Photo press?
He sent us his photo press. First thing you can do is you can see the rack is a little bit too high. You can see him reaching his arms up to reach the bar. So you can just set the rack a little bit lower. That will help you depress and retract your shoulders a little bit more, get a bigger arch. The main issue with Josh
is you set up too fucking long. God damn, Josh, hurry up and get to the lift.
The main issue with him, he doesn't use his quads as much, like on any lift of his.
And he's ugly. Yeah, he doesn't really use his quads. Or pressing into your heels, trying to push your knees out in bench helps me and a lot of other lifters utilize our quads. So maybe just think of that and keeping that constant tension, trying to push yourself back so like what Anna said, creating an arch, trying to push yourself up the bench, but keeping your shoulders dug in so that your body has nowhere to go, but creating that arch.
His press itself is really good.
Yeah.
His bench looks really good. But what you can work on is a tighter setup.
A tighter setup?
You can work on a tighter setup.
Yeah. What can help you with that is setting your feet further back, because you set up with your feet on the bench, and then you lower them. You know, so that's good for some people, and that's fine. You don't have to change that necessarily. You can just try and force them back.
Right. You can bring your feet a little bit back and use your quads to push against.
Squeeze your knees, dog. You need to squeeze your knees.
Squeeze your knees. Don't think about squeezing your glutes. Think about pushing with your quads to extend your knees and push you against towards your spotter.
Yeah. Josh, thanks for sending us your video, Doug. We'll see you at the next meet. No, we'll see you probably in a couple weeks.
At Legacy?
At Legacy? We'll see you at Legacy, dog. Bring Mike.
Bring Mike.
Next video, Next video comes from Squatimus, or I can't even say his name without smiling. I know your name, Doug. Jeff, I know your name. Next video comes from JD Squatimus Prime. Jeff, I'm gonna call you Jeff. But Jeff sends us his squats and his bench. I mean, starting off with your squats, dog, you already know this. Your squats are looking mad juicy. They look real good. Any critiques on that?
Yeah, one thing you can work on is think about keeping your knees forward as long as possible. You can see your knees kick back just a tiny bit. What you can think about is just keeping your knees forward as long as possible. Take advantage of those big quads. Since you're a quad dominant squatter, you can benefit from shifting your center of gravity just a tiny bit forward. Think about shifting your body weight just a tiny bit, like closer to your toes than your heels. That will give you a little pop out the hole. You'll use your quads out the hole a little bit more. That might help. Just an opinion.
That might help.
Yeah. Try it out. Try it out on your warm-up.
Jeff, just try it, dog.
Just try it.
Just give it a shot. Other than that, really good squat. Moving on to your bench.
You flared a little bit too early.
You flared too early, dog. Jeff, you flaring too early, man. Jeff, we're gonna be looking at your bench now. So I know you compete in the USPA, so I don't really know if you're on your toes or if your feet are fully flat. On the press, it looks a little shaky at the bottom, so I'm not really convinced that you're using a full amount of leg drive. Comment on.
But what you can do is just think about pushing your elbow just a tiny bit in front of the bar, just an inch. That way you can get more tricep off your chest. Then you can flare and you lock out. Instead of being in a already flared position when you go down, then you flare even more. So just tuck your elbow just tiny bit forward in front of the bar. That way you can just push with your triceps, then flare and lock out.
That's good. So thanks again, Jeff. Last thing I want to talk about is Taylor Org lifts. Taylor, thanks for tagging us in the video. I really wanted to comment on your sumo because looking really good, looking really juicy. I know you've been putting a lot of effort into your calories, and I know you've been making sure that you've gotten this stuff down to a science. So I did want to commend you on that. Your work definitely looks like it's paying off. This is your working weight, so just make sure that you're locking everything out.
It looks pretty light. Since it's pretty light, just make sure to focus on quality of the work. Just think about hip extension at the top. It looks pretty easy, but it might backfire on you in competition since you're not practicing the way you're gonna play.
Full lockout.
Yeah, just think about even though you're doing higher reps, think about fully extending your hips.
Yeah, like I said, this is really just because I wanted to shout you out and give you some commendation on your work, but make sure that that work is being put to good use, and like Anas said, make sure that it's quality and locking out each and every rep.
Yeah, the starting position, everything looks good. Or just lock out a little bit more. Just hold your lockout a little bit longer.
Just lock out, though. We just want you to lock out. So I think we did pretty good. I want to know what you guys think, though. Leave a comment down below if you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or you can just, I guess thumbs up and thumbs down the video. But I want to hear your words too, so comments below, let us know what you think. Send us your videos, again, you got the option, and programs. Again, this form check and critique is not just for your lifts. If you have any questions about developing your own program and you want to give something a shot, you want to build up a dummy template and you want to send it over to us so we can critique it, either on video or off video, we'll ask you for your permission, obviously. But feel free to email it to us. Send it to us in the Instagram DM. Link's going to be down below for both of those options. You want to add something? So guys, thanks again for the love. Like the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, go on Instagram, like the Instagram, talk to us later. See you in the next video. Love you.